I'm on site.
Bow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Such Streams. And yeah, we're back with another one. Wi-Fi is bad, so shit's gonna be rocky. But anyway, welcome guys. Let's do another one of these things called a stream. So today we're gonna talk about a few things, not a lot, you know me. Just to get into here and there. So I saw this really interesting clip. It surfaced on Instagram, and it was about this guy who was talking about Wits University, and he alleges something like really, really, really deep. So yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to spoil it for you guys, but yeah, I think this is the one. Okay, cool. All right, so this is an interview with Ebo Tlamini, and yeah, I guess he's this guy, and he knows a lot of things, and he's sort of an advocate, not advocate, activist. That's the word. He's an activist, and he speaks out against the government, and he says a lot of things. So this is an interview with David Mashabela from Mashabela Studios, and on his podcast Mashabela Studios, and this was about 2 months ago. So this is what he talks about, and this is what he alleges. So just give that a listen.
People sitting on the floor because VET was never meant for these large numbers. Where are these large numbers coming from now? It's black people. So it was never meant for us. That's what we are talking about, that they inherited the system that was anti-black, the system that wanted black people to be laborers.
So he's speaking about, obviously, he's speaking about the time when he was at Wits University, because he's a Wits grad, and all the things he experienced and his generation, what they experienced as well.
System that wanted black people to serve the white masters. Now, when you give black people education, you are now saying they will be the masters themselves. Then the system will react. The system that made black people to be inferior to a white man now says that once we go to vets together, we study medicine, me and you are white and black, we are equals. We are doctors.
That's what it's
equal. Equal. And yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely got a point. You know, once you give black people education, that's when the freedom comes. You know what I mean? Because then, yeah, but I mean, even with education, like, is there still even equality? Because you as a black person can have the same qualifications as a counter white person or whatever other race. Doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are going to have the same opportunities, you know. So, yeah. But anyway, let's continue.
Iota together. We know double circulation together. So I can't be inferior to you. I know what you know. You might don't know what I know because you don't know poverty. So it makes us better than them. So the system had to then close and control the competition for the white kids against the blacks, because the blacks are a majority. We will be now competing for the same space at Deloitte, at Price Water, and all of those things. So how do you do that? You maintain the numbers that access the education.
Okay.
So here's where he says that shocking bit that I heard in the clip.
Also give you an example. At Vets Law School, there's a head of school that was fired for graduating 400 people.
Yeah. Yes. But isn't that a positive outcome?
The market reacted to say you are devaluing the Vets degree. A Vets LLB must be scarce. And that's what we were told.
Must be exclusive.
Yes, it must be scarce. No one with a Vets LLB must be loitering and speaking about Latin in the tavern. We are busy there speaking legal jargon in the tavern. Because we are men, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, because we are men. So he was fired. I'm telling you the truth. Wow. They will agree, those who were part of that group.
Yeah.
He graduated more. They want 190 per year so that they can go to the top 5 big law firms. Because once they don't make it to the top big firms, where do they go?
Yeah.
It's a Vets degree that is now loitering. They control that.
Yeah, so that's the clip, and that's what I heard, and that's what caught my eye. So just to summarize, basically he said during his time when he was at Wits, there was a head of the department of probably the law faculty. And so the law faculty, obviously, the head of the department, you're in charge of, you know, overseeing graduates and making sure everything runs smoothly and all that. So the head of the department at that time, when he was enrolled at Wits, in that year that that person was head of department, there were 400 LLB graduates. And then apparently, according to this man, he got fired for that because that's not in the plans of the university. You know what I mean? The university is not in the business of giving niggas free degrees like that. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter whether you pass. You really pass. We don't care if you really passed. You know, you're not just gonna graduate. It says 4 years. No, you'll do it 5 years. So they only picked, well, the university has this thing of where they're going to limit the amount of people that can graduate. You know what I mean? And so because this head of the faculty graduated way more than what the university limits, apparently he was fired. That's crazy to think about. To think that he graduated over 400 LOB students, whereas they were only taking 90, 100. And it's interesting. I mean, obviously we don't know how factual this is. You know what I mean? But definitely this is obviously in a different time. This is like, I'm guessing this is probably in the 80s, 90s. You know what I mean? So it definitely could hold some merit. And when you think about universities, and obviously not just Wits in itself, not here to attack Wits or any of that, but that they do have some shady businesses and the things that they do and the way they go about their processes. And one of those things is like, if you think about it, like application fees. You know what I mean? Like they encourage so many people to apply to university, apply, and pay those application fees. But if you don't get accepted, you don't get your money back. Those application fees are non-refundable. And if you're going to only accept a limited amount, during this time, why do you still continue to accept so many applications? You know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to screen and all that, but still, if you, let's say, for example, if in a year you're going to any kind of university, you're going to accept, let's say, 1,000 students. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you stop when the applications reach, you're like, obviously not 1,000 because you have to screen, but when the applications reach a certain amount, wouldn't you then say that's enough? You know what I mean? But then that doesn't happen here. Like people just apply, and these universities collect these application fees, and it can be a lot of money. It ranges from, can be like 100 rand, ranges to like 300. I know at Wits, like at UP is like 300 rand to apply. So it is a lot of money. Imagine if like thousands of students paying 300 rand. Mind you, it's non-refundable. So whether you make it in or you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So I can hear where it's coming from, and like, these universities, definitely there's always things behind the corners, behind the curtains that you gotta just be wary about. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, that was the clip. You guys can go watch the full interview. The full interview is actually very informative, very, he says a lot about just like education and the education department and really South Africa and economics and a lot. They touch on a lot, and it's a very informative interview to go watch. So y'all go check that out. But yeah, anyway, on to a little bit more exciting things. Well,